the one change? Was that an obvious one for you?
No, we did debate, Steve, the ruck situation a little bit, whether we give a bit more support for Sam, but we'll go with it for probably only one more week.
How close is Riley O'Brien?
No, his form's been really good. Probably the only thing a little bit with Riley is he's probably more a ruckman than a ruck forward, and without getting too much into the machinations of interchange, the ability to play two rucks if they're both really just ruckman's difficult.
What about Sam Kerridge? Phil, obviously emergency. How close is he? It must be frustrating for him, obviously, not to be able to quite crack in.
Yeah, always frustrating when you're not in the team. We've had a number of players like that though, so Grigg, Crouch and Lyons as form in the SANFL has also been really strong and they had to wait as well. Sam knows exactly where he sits.
How's Crouch going?
So he's up and running. He's off Alter G, so he should be running this week. Then it's just a matter of Theo getting him up to match fitness. Might take 3 weeks, might take 4 weeks, but we're really hopeful that we can get Brad going in the second half of the season. He'd be a really important player for us.
3 or 4 weeks of SANFL stuff?
You'd think,
yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you mean that he was off running without the Alter G this week?
This week, yeah.
It's a real test of your midfield then, isn't it? The depth of it and the run, how David can run.
It probably is lucky though, Steve, that we have got pretty good depth there. So Cam Alishoman's probably only 1 week away, so he'll miss this week. He'll then become available, and then hopefully we slowly start to get some guys back. But I've got a lot of confidence in Grigg, Lyons and Crouch to get the job done.
What did you learn about St Kilda last week, Phil, in that comeback win?
So we saw, it was a great game. So we saw probably the vulnerabilities they have if you bring a certain style of game, but then we also saw what they're capable of. I was really impressed with their game against Essendon as well. Obviously, I've watched them closely and knew we had them at the start of the year. Apart from the second half against Carlton in New Zealand, I think their form's been really strong. I'm expecting a pretty exciting game. I thought they played a really exciting brand on the weekend, and I'm on record as saying that's how I want us to play as well. So, funny time slot for our fans, makes it really hard for our country fans to get to this game, but maybe there's an opportunity for some people who normally aren't able to get to an Adelaide game to come and watch a really exciting game of footy I'm expecting tomorrow.
What do you think there's been quite a number of games where a team will get up by 8 goals and then they'll get reeled in? It's something that's quite unusual. Normally you just keep a foot down. Why does that happen, do you think, this season?
Yeah, I think there's a number of reasons. The Bulldogs play a really aggressive defence, and if you watched that game, you saw they'd come back from a wet game against Sydney. They got really tired, and St Kilda then were able to exploit that. The other thing is, teams this year, in my opinion, although the scoring hasn't been reflected, I think teams are taking the game on a little bit more, and that game was one where, to come back from that score, it was just fantastic.
How is Sam Jacobs travelling with his body at the moment? Is he 100%, or does he need more support in the ruck this week?
No, he's 100%. Ideally, I'd like to give him a little bit more support. So, as I said before, he's probably 1 more week where we'll go down this path, and then next week we'll definitely give him support up against Mumford. Then we've got Sandilands, so it'd be really difficult to just do one ruck against those two guys.
Will Tom Lynch come in and give him a bit more this game? Or?
Yeah, we'll just see how the game unfolds. We've got some strategy around how we're going to do it. It might not necessarily mean that he'll do more ruck work, it's just how we use Sam.
So do you expect Josh Jenkins to come back to help him out, or do you sort of look at giving Riley a shot?
Yeah, Jenkins, it looks as if Jenkins will be available for us next week, but I'm also not against playing Riley when you come up against Mumford and Sandilands. It's really hard to ruck against those guys if you haven't got a little bit of a break.
6 games in, Phil, obviously just a touch over a quarter of the way through the season. How do you think you're tracking, and what about your own sort of stuff? You've been in the chair now for a while. Do you reflect and sort of self-analyse, because you're obviously very meticulous? Do you look back at your own performance, or does someone else do that with you?
Yeah, no, I've got all those processes in place. So my quarter-time address, had a little bit of analysis of that last week when I slammed the whiteboard. But I've been trying to be calm. I try to be controlled, but it's an emotional game. Probably 2 games I haven't been happy, but overall, Tom, it's what I've expected. Does consume you though, so your time management and Your ability to switch off is really important. I'm going to try and get a surf this afternoon, so hopefully I'll be nice and relaxed for tomorrow.
How do you feel like the team as such is tracking? Is it building towards something?
I really hope it is, Jasper. One thing that's made it a little bit hard for us, we haven't had the consistency of player. So we've had a lot of change, a lot of people have come in and out of our team, which makes it hard. The thing I am excited about is the back line looks as if it's standing up and getting better each week, and our forward line looks exciting. It's just our midfield where we probably haven't had the continuity. So we're hopefully, though, moving forward, we can address that. And I'd like to think that we'll see a really strong display tomorrow from our team.
Would you like to straighten up a little bit the way you go into attack rather than maybe going a little bit sideways?
I don't think we go sideways.
Okay, you think it is direct enough?
I do. You've got to understand our personnel at the moment though too, Jasper. So we got Lynch and Walker. So you can't just bomb the ball inside your forward line against teams, and St Kilda another team with both Dempster and Fisher. They're very good at rolling off and then being the third man in to mark the footy. So you've got to be careful with that. You know, I'd love to have a Tom Hawkins or someone who we could just kick the ball to, but at the moment we haven't got that player.
We saw Brent Riley out there this morning helping out a bit. Is he helping out in a certain area at all, or is he just mentoring in general?
He actually was helping Brodie Smith with his kicking just then, which was great. But no, his focus is more helping the defenders, and he's going to specifically just look at a couple of areas in the box for us tomorrow. We're really conscious, though, that we don't want to throw him into a whole coach's load. He still is in recovery mode, and like I said at the press conference, I don't want to welcome him into my world just yet. I want him to enjoy his life a little bit.
Does that mean your world isn't enjoyable?
No, really, you understand, in this, not just in this town, but it's not an easy job being senior coach. You know, there's a lot of things at play. Your mind's always busy and consumed. In saying that, I really like the job. I've enjoyed what I'm doing, but you have to be careful because there's no boundaries on the job. It can go 24/7, 365. So you've got to make sure you put some boundaries in place. I probably haven't got that sorted out just at the moment, Steve.
You touched on, you weren't happy last week, banked a win. You want to play exciting footy, so what changes can we expect come tomorrow to see that exciting brand of cross footy you speak about?
Well, without naming them, I think you know our exciting players. We'll be trying to get the ball in their hands as much as possible, and we'll be trying to move the ball as quick as we possibly can. The other side of our game that I think is exciting is we're going to defend frenetically. I want to bring pressure, and I've challenged the guys again this week that I want to see that, and I want our fans to see that. Against North Melbourne, I thought we showed great defence and great offence. We did the same, I thought, against Collingwood. I probably haven't seen the two together in the previous 4 games. I'm hoping we can see that tomorrow.
With that aggressive defence then, as you mentioned, like with the Western Bulldogs, what happened to them with their aggressive defence, how do you ward off such a comeback like that? How do you stop a team from coming back?
We've got some mechanisms, okay, so we won't play that style the whole game. I'm of the belief you can't play it the whole time. You even look at Fremantle, all right? I'd say Fremantle's probably the best pressure team in the competition. They can't sustain it for 4 quarters either. You see some of their second halves, they've been able to go back to a different style of play. So understanding of that and teaching your players when for them to call it out on the ground, we have those mechanisms. It's just a matter of them recognising it.
Phil, what about Rory Sloane? Obviously had their fractured cheekbone surgery. Has it gone well, and hopefully on the lower end, 4 weeks? Maybe around the bye when he comes back? Yeah,
Tom, it's not a difficult surgery, so there's no plate or anything. They basically just flip the bone back out, but now we've just got to wait. So it's just a time thing with him. He's on the bike right now, behind me in the change rooms. Hopefully then he'll be able to run next week. So we'll use it as a chance maybe to get a little bit of advantage with his fitness so he's ready to go. Sometimes it can only be 3 weeks, sometimes it's 4 weeks, sometimes a bit longer. So we'll just see how Rory goes with it.